she's strict, but she's fair. She's firm, but she like, maybe in the interview, she knew like more things about it, or she's the only one that actually listens. Everybody else has to ask them 1,500 times to do something. She's always got eye contact with them, but she's always in. They're so like, I was really like, where's the shut up? He said, he would look at me and he didn't say a word, and I thought, oh, he's pissed off now. So I thought I would challenge her a little bit.
My interview was
How did she say about Jade?
5 minutes. So she wants to, I don't know if I told him to give him that first thing to do, and I'm like, oh, I thought it was a good idea, and he was excited. And what I saying to something to do that, I'm like, okay, you know, that's good. Is that like going to happen often? That was just the one song just asked for it or something. Okay. Because James told me like the dishes and he sits down and reads in class. I'm like, you know, you guys get to stand up and read. This is what you know then after yeah, but see, like, they're supposed to be challenging them. Like, when we send them to school, they get challenged. Oh my god, Jennifer.
On that school.
Self coming through. Hello, hello, hello. Check, check, check. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, better now? You got me now? Okay. Hello, it's round 21 of NPL Men's New South Wales from Barton Park as St George FC take on Sydney Olympic. When these two teams met earlier in the season, it was a 2-0 win to St George, with Troy Danaskos scoring both the goals. He's not in the lineup tonight, though, for St George this evening, so they will need a new source of goals coming into the team. They're happy? All right, if they need another one, just let me know and we'll do it all again. Yeah, sweet. Okay, cool. Give us a lineup.
Next week they say whether they came first, second, third, or fourth. We just said to them, make sure if we're because one meeting, make sure we tell one of the days if they did it something to get so all the boys that participated. If James can't beat them, Sebastian can't.
We start at 5, I think. 5:30, but it's massive. I don't know how long it's going to be.
All of those masses.
We're just waiting for the teams to appear in the tunnel, and when they do, we will get underway at NPL Men's New South Wales round at 21, Sydney Olympic visiting St George FC. So both teams lined up at the top of the tunnel, not far away from walking out onto Barton Park for Saturday night action in NPL Men's New South Wales. It's round 21, but crucially it's the first game after the opening of the transfer window. And two new-look teams come striding out onto the surface tonight. Both of them in a relegation battle. Sydney Olympic looking up from the foot of the table. And St George FC just one place above the Pro Roll playoff. It was already a massive match, well anticipated tonight, but the stakes go up that much more due to all of the new faces and names that will be playing for both teams. So both teams out onto the pitch. Let's go through the lineup. St George FC have made 3 changes to their starting 11. Goalkeeper in the number 1 shirt, Nicholas Soros. 6, Patrick O'Shea. 8, Evangelos Souris. 9, Nicholas Gatarich. 10, Jaden Casella. 12, Jaden Cito. 14, Mark Cunningham. 15, Mark Rodic. 16, Caden Wright. 24, Edmund Haddad. And 88, Chris McStay. So in comes Gatarich, Cunningham and Haddad to the starting 11. On the bench for St George, Vedran Janjetovic, number 2, Rocco Smith. 7 is Justin Poon. 5, Nicholas Caligeru. 11, Lachlan Sepping. 20, Cotter Toyuka. And 25, Harrison Farrow. For Sydney Olympic, they have made... Well, we'll just stay with this presentation out on the pitch because Jaden Cito is being recognised for 100 senior appearances for St George FC. He passed that milestone a couple of games ago. This is the club's first home game back at Barton Park since he reached that milestone, and great to see him and some family and friends out there on the pitch being acknowledged. Congratulations to Jaden Cito. But let's get to the Sydney Olympic lineup. 8 new players. It's 8 changes from the team that was defeated 4-0 by Rockdale a week ago. In goal, wearing number 40, Anthony Carreras. 3, Samuel Boschniak. 4, Josh Hong. 6, Jock Aquem. 7, Seth Clark. 8, Khan Nizam. 10, Panos Armanakis. 12, Zach Zoricic. 16, Bailey Callahan. 21, Adam Bugaria. And 23 is Sebastian Kukushka. So a completely new look Sydney Olympic. Are they going to produce immediately, or can St George FC, with their handful of reinforcements, keep them at arm's length? We will keep you up to speed with how tonight affects the table in the relegation battle. Don't be fooled. Sydney Olympic might be adrift by some distance, but what they need to find is a 3-game winning streak just to really make things nervous. No better time to start than tonight. We're underway with Sydney Olympic in the blue, attacking the right of your screens in this first half here at Barton Park. And straight away, an early touch of the ball for Panos Armanakis, the former Ollie Roo, been playing as an overseas professional in the United States most recently, but had spent time in England and elsewhere in Europe, but a couple of different stints in the lower leagues of professional ranks in the United States. And he comes with great pedigree. He was a wonder kid on his way up, and now we get to enjoy him in a starting debut here in NPL. 10 games to go for these teams as they battle against relegation. As we see a long early ball here and a chance to chase for Cunningham, and a last-ditch intervention there to clear it away in the nick of time from Zach Zoricic, and that was so important. And for all the new names and new faces, it would have been a familiar, worrying feeling as Cunningham was nearly in on goal there, if not for the intervention of the defender. Good crowd, healthy crowd. The weather has cleared. There has been a little bit of rain around in the build-up, but it's good conditions now. Short corner routine, in swinging and cleared away. Kukushka waits under the ball. One of just 3 players retained from from the team last week. He's come in. The bench for Sydney Olympic today: Josip Orlovic, Ziggy Gordon, Jacob Trezoglovic, Ben Garson, Max Luberic, Marcus Fernandez and Peter Grozos. They start tonight in 16th with just 12 points and a negative 25 goal difference. They've only won 3 of their 20 league games so far this season. And St George FC above them with 6 wins and a draw. Here is Jock Aquien, one of the new signings. And then a back pass here from Samuel Boschnak to Josh Hong. And then a clearance away from Anthony Carreras. But yes, coming in tonight, St George FC had 19 points. It had them just one above Blacktown City in the Pro-Rel playoff spot. And Blacktown City have been closing that gap in recent weeks as well. Early possession consolidated here by the home side, St George. As Patrick O'Shea passes over to Mark Rodich, his fellow central defender, and now a long ball down the right is cleared away. Seth Clark, the Kiwi, a familiar face. He was at Sydney Olympic most recently in the Australian Championship. Such a busy player in midfield. And he plays it back to Hong. Here's Aquien. And that's going to run long down to the goalkeeper. Nick Soros in goal for St George FC. There's barely a seat remaining in the stand here at Barton Park, which is great to see. They need the home fans behind them tonight. Sydney Olympic will have bought a few. Some of the announcements were made on social media during the day, including this player here, Adam Bugaria, and a flick header on is going to fall kindly. Kukushka across the face, and it runs wide. Arriving at the back post just a little bit too late, Khan Nizam, who has come over from Northwest Sydney Spirit. Time being taken over the goal kick. Nizam with just a couple of goals so far this season, but we've seen him playing in academy football at NPL for the Wanderers. He'll be hoping for more. Here's a promising run through the right channel. Cutting it back is Casella. Shot was attempted and blocked away by Edmund Haddad. And now on the turn, Cunningham. And a left-footed attempt from Casella is over the bar. It did catch a deflection. It'll be a second corner of the game here for St George. But yes, Nizam and Edmund Haddad were teammates at the Wanderers Academy last season. Now they find themselves on opposing teams as new arrivals respectively. So the corner is to be taken from the right-hand side rather than the left. Only 5 minutes in, second corner of the night. In swing into the near post, attempted header was blocked away. Jock Aquien was crucial, and now it's turned into the side netting. So a packed 6-yard box able to repel. But the home side have started the brighter of the two here. One thing about Sydney Olympic unleashing all these signings is how much betting in will there need to be in a game environment. How many of them have been training? How many of them have been newly arrived? The transfer window does fall quite late in the season. 2/3 of the way through. Of course, Sydney Olympic will also have the Australian Championship to look forward to, but they would much rather be looking forward to it as an NPL 1 team rather than a team that's freshly relegated. Here's a long ball, and the speed of Casella is there to be contended with. Aquien gets goal side, and it's lobbed through the penalty box. Might have had an option to cut it back to the top of the area, but decided to play it across the face of goal instead. But the speed of Jaden Casella and St George on show. I mentioned there was a little bit of pre-game rain, but it has stayed away since kickoff. Ball into the area, flashing from Skataric, but intercepted by Hong. Now Armanakis. Sydney Olympic on the move. And Armanakis is already commanding the ball. He wants to pull some strings, get a feel for the game. Seth Clark will join him, keeping things ticking over. Clark, incisive pass to Kukushka. He ducks behind a couple of defenders and then telegraphed to pass over to the right. It's been cleared away. But Olympic get another opportunity here. Clark Jags onto his left. And now sends Samuel Boschniak down the left side. Space fashioned for a cross here. And a header twisted, well, not quite towards the target. It's been cleared out for a corner kick. Did it have to be? That's the question. Bailey Callahan was up contending for the ball, but it landed nowhere near any of his teammates. But it was a safety-first approach there from St George, and they concede a first defensive corner of the game, which Armanakis will go and take himself. Show us his left foot. Tonight's referee is Sam Kelly, one of the top New South Wales NPL referees, also with a bit of A-League experience. So here's Armanakis with the corner, attacking the near post and cleared away comfortably enough. Out for a throw-in this time. So the throw-in, Seth Clark, good control of a mid-range ball. Bugaria played well here for Marconi, coming off the bench earlier in the season. And now he sends a left-footed drive into the fence behind the goal. Adam Bugaria was released from Perth Glory at the end of the A-League season, popped up at the Marconi Stallions. But he did find it hard to get a spot as a regular starter, despite featuring as a substitute, a super sub quite a lot, as he was here at Barton Park earlier in the season. One start from 17 appearances says it all, though. And just the one goal for the Stallions. So here he is looking for game time at Sydney Olympic. St George working the ball around. Edmund Haddad. There are some playmakers in both teams tonight. Technicians will be very comfortable looking to create. Not something you normally associate with a relegation battle, but the talent's out there. Can they turn it on? Ball through the left channel here. Cunningham battling for the ball, and Zoricic is going to outmuscle him and see the ball out for a goal kick. So 10 minutes ticked over, scoreless. Don't forget to jump on to Dribble if you're hearing a lot of names that you haven't heard from these two teams so far this season. The transfer window has unleashed 12 new names across the two sides in the starting lineups tonight. It's almost like a totally new Olympic team. And they are playing with some real intent. Boschniak venturing forward here. Leaves the ball with Khan Nizam. And now here's Bugaria. Back to Nizam on an acute angle. Drives it low, looking for Callahan, and it's cleared away. Bugaria. Blocked once, twice. Good defending from Casella, and he's able to run it out towards the sideline. The Olympic bench. It was 2-0 earlier in the season at Belmore when these teams met. Back in round 6, Troy Danaskos with a double. Not in the match squad tonight. Full-blooded slide challenge, and the referee says too much. Seth Clark was hurdling out of the way there to avoid getting cleaned up, and so even though Rodic got the ball, the referee said he did so in a manner that still constituted a foul. So it is a long-range free kick here, some distance from the top of the penalty area. We'll take a really well-hit strike. Here's Adam Bugaria. Going to fancy his chances here. He's got Armanakis there for company. We've got goals flying in around the ground. This is the last game of the evening, so we will have some full-time scores elsewhere for you through the course of the night. We'll get to that at the next little break in play. Right now, 2 in the wall. Bugaria the right-footed option, Armanakis the left. Here is Panos Amanakis leaving it for Adam Bugaria, and it requires a save. Carried away. Soros sends it outside the penalty area. Nizam retrieves the ball. Bugaria to Amanakis. Trying to squeeze through a gap that he couldn't find. And now Cunningham receives the outlet. He has a quick head check. There's no one on, so he's got to go himself. And go he does, and Jock Acquien has to come over and clear the ball away. And the ball is cleared out for a throw-in. Bugaria. And now Zoricic. Back to Hong and Clark. Horshan. Nizam, low drive, immediately blocked away. Bugaria falling back to the top of the box. Possession taken by St. George. And now they can break. Haddad trying to step through, and it deflects kindly to Caden Wright. And now Skataric. Skataric off the crossbar! And that had the crowd ready to go up as one. He cut inside and he lashed it into the woodwork, and now end-to-end. Amanakis with a great pass. He's released Khan Nizam. Can Sydney Olympics sting in the other direction? Caden Wright stands up and defends the ball away. Oh, that was crucial. Clark. Clark. Rodic with a clearance that's deflecting out towards the line. Nizam. Callahan turning back towards the byline. Bugaria takes it at the near post. Amanakis. He finds the shot! That is brilliant! And it's taken just 15 minutes for Panos Amanakis to show that there's a new era underway at Olympic, and the Great Escape, they can dare to dream. The technical quality of that finish is top-notch. Well, we know he was an extremely highly touted youngster. He's now in the prime years of his career, 27 years of age, showing everyone what he can do. He's been, it must be said, a bit out of sight, out of mind, playing in the United States. And now he's needed just 15 minutes to score a truly special goal with the outside of his foot there from the top of the box. And it is St. George FC 0, Sydney Olympic 1. So, what sort of a response can St. George FC find? They have had a great chance just moments before the goal with Skataric hitting the crossbar. They're going to keep attacking through Casella. Acquien clears away. Haddad at the top of the penalty area, trying to find a gap. Headed away by Hong. And tumbling out of the way, the Olympic defenders, but Acquien rises to a solid header. Nizam, a square ball. Here goes the goal scorer, Panos Amanakis. He's away. There's a runner on here. Great defence, splitting pass. Callahan cuts back, and he lost his footing at the key moments. I wonder if he might have tried hitting that in full flight. He opted to reverse back. Physical defending from Hong on Skataric. It leaves Sito on his own, and the referee, Sam Kelly, will bring it back for the foul. Chris McStay. Now a high cross that sails out. It gives us a chance to go around the grounds. I can tell you that SD Raiders have come back from a goal down, and they now lead 3-1 against St George City out at Ernie Smith Reserve. So 3 massive points. That game is in stoppage time, coming the way of the SD Raiders. Just over an hour gone at Christie Park, and Northwest Sydney Spirit lead 2-0 against Wollongong, and it's now 1-0 here. I'll get to what that means for the ladder in just a moment. Right now, here's Armanakis on the ball, and he sets away Kukushka. He's wrestled to ground, and it is a free kick against Mark Rodic, and he gets the first yellow card of the game. So Rodic is in the referee's book. We saw him commit a full-blooded slide challenge earlier, which the referee called as a foul, and so maybe that didn't look like the most incriminating of tackles. There could be, it could have been on his last warning already. And so first yellow card of the game issued to the number 15 of St George FC. Armanakis whips the ball to the edge of the 6-yard box. It slides off heads and out for a corner. It's a totally different Olympic. I was at Belmore last week for the 4-0 defeat against visiting Rockdale, and they look like a broken team, but clearly not a broken club. There was plenty happening in the background to unleash the new signings. What a difference a week makes. Armanakis takes the corner. Bugaria shaping to volley and then couldn't keep the ball. Skataric puts his head down. He's got Casella over on the right, but he hits the ball a little skinny, and it means that Hong is back to send it to his keeper. Got to get the hurry up here. Carreras, he clears it in the nick of time. Haddad. Now McStay. Chris McStay looking for Skataric. It's going to go over his shoulder and run out for a goal kick. He doesn't get the call from the assistant over on the outer side. So the live table at present: 12th place St George City on 24 points, 13th UNSW, who lost to Sutherland earlier today, on 22, 14th place St George FC on 19 in the Pro Roll playoff spot, 15th place Blacktown City on 18. They have a massive match tomorrow against Marconi, and then in 16th place on 15 points on the live league table, Sydney Olympic. They are within 4 points of St George and safety on the live table. Plenty of time for that to change. Here comes across, and a good diving header away from Bosniak, and seizing the ball and sprinting to the halfway line is Khan Nizam. Tried to slide it inside for Callahan, but well defended over at right back. That means that the ball is taken away by Caden Wright. And now O'Shea through the middle. Back pass comes from Zach Zoricic. A slip from Carreras as he clears. Dushka appealing to the referee, but didn't get the decision that time. Sam Kelly with a perfect view. Here's Cito. McStay, first time ball. Cunningham. The back heel was elaborate and successful. And he finds McStay, a low drive. And Jock Aquien, we've seen him importantly in the air a few times already. Now he slides in and gets it done at ground level. And he made sure to sky it out for a corner, rather than potentially risk an own goal. St George FC trying to turn up the heat about a quarter of the way through the night, but don't worry, for those of you that have been watching the World Cup, no breaks tonight. So here's the corner, in at the near post, and a shot into the traffic, and saved. Carreras at point-blank range. How did that stay out? Well, an element of reflexes and an element of the shot being straight at him, so he was able to collapse onto the ball, but that is a massive moment for St George, and perhaps they should have drawn level there. A couple of big saves for the Olympic keeper. Here's Armanakis. He finds a burst of acceleration, sends it to Callahan, and it's taken away from him by Pat O'Shea. Skataric, McStay, and he misses him with the return ball. So it was Skataric with that close range attempt, which went straight at Anthony Carreras, but it's one thing to be in the right position, it's another to save the ball, and he did so. Didn't allow it to bobble out for any more follow-ups. Massive moment in this first half, and there have been a few. Here's Nizam, full of confidence as he runs at the defenders. Here's Armanakis, and it's tackled off him. Clark comes through, wins the ball back. Seth Clark bombs away, and it's blocked by O'Shea. Skataric. Jags inside here. A square ball. McStay just consolidates possession, and now plays it to Haddad. Loose touch, had to go chasing it. It's going to fall for Cunningham. Here's Skataric. Ooh, lots of force, but he couldn't twist it back onto the target. Well, he's had 3 good chances. One of them hit the crossbar, one of them saved, and now one of them wide. But he's getting involved in the game, having an immediate impact. Perhaps Anthony Carreras wise just to calm things down. It's felt like the last 5 minutes of a game here rather than the first 20. It's been genuinely action-packed here at Barton Park in the first half. Long clearance, headed on by Bosniak. Looped into midfield. Cunningham up for the header. Skataric intercepted by Aquien. Now possession taken by Nizam. And a back pass all the way down to the goalkeeper. Clark. Now Zoricic. Here's Hong. Hong with a long ball, hoping for Kukushka. Sito wins a header, but Armanakis is onto the second ball. Little step over, a bit of dancing. Clark to Bugaria. Bugaria plays it back to Seth Clark. And now Armanakis. Diagonal ball, Nizam keeps it in. Hard against the line, and nutmeg was clever! Oh, and it goes across the face. Well, that would have been a special goal had he nestled it in the opposite bottom corner. Khan Nizam went for the nutmeg, hard against the line. He pulled it off, but he just couldn't bend the shot and get the shape on it. You wouldn't know that this was 14th against 16th in 2 of the bottom 3. It's been a super contest so far. And the quality of the game itself has been excellent. Clark a little bit too forcefully through the back of Skataric and gives away a free kick. Rodic. Right. Cut inside. Switch of flanks. Over to Cunningham. He leaves the ball with McStay. Now Sito. Cunningham. And now McStay down to the corner. McStay. A high cross. Casella that will head out for a goal kick. Acquia, Clark. Hong. Callahan off and chasing, but he won't run that down before Soros comes up to the edge of the area. Rodic. Exchange of headers. Suris played the ball to Skataric in midfield. Now Sito. Cunningham. Overlapping run from Haddad. Out to Sito, he measures across, and he finds the man in the middle, who was Isaac Cunningham, and he lashed it over the bar as he swung around on his left foot. The chances are coming for St George FC, but they haven't been able to take them as we tick up to the half-hour mark. Bit of a tangle and a free kick going the way of Kukushka after he was seen to be interfered with by Suris. But Olympic happy to go backwards from the restart. Clark over to Armanakis. In the pocket, and the shot here from Nizam. Decided to take the sighter, and collapsing down to his right, Soros is able to make the save. Wasted no time there, Khan Nizam, to have a pop. Sito. Hong. Clark. Seth Clark out to the left. Bosniak getting forward. Numbers to aim for in the box, but he can't beat his man. Gets another bite at it. Nearly stole the ball away, but enough defenders on the scene to regain possession for St George, albeit briefly. Clark comes in, takes the ball. Here's Armanakis. Saw Khan Nizam. Can he find his right? He scoops the ball on, and it's cleared away from Callahan, and the flag is up for offside. And where he was shooting almost immediately a moment ago, Khan Nizam, he just got the ball stuck between his feet there and wanted to beat his man rather than immediately have a pop. Sito. Suris. McStay. Isaac Cunningham. Cito again. Cunningham doesn't want to send across into a crowded penalty area. Back to McStay. He tries to barge through instead. To the line, and he does draw a corner kick. So, corner coming up for St George. Ball to the back post. It was Roddick who got up with a big leap for the ball, but just had a little bit too much on it. Haddad brought to ground. And the referee saying that Bosniak fouled him. Free kick on an acute angle. St George FC stay on the attack. So is Jaden Casella about to produce something special from a tight angle free kick. There's only going to be a one-man wall here. Anthony Carreras not wanting his view too obscured. A line of players ready to follow this in, should there be a kind ricochet. Here's Casella over the free kick. He elevates it and whips it too high, and the moment is past here for St George without being able to really put a shot in a dangerous area on the goal. Plenty of time again being taken over the goal kick here. Olympic trying to manage the tempo. Of course, a lot of new faces. Will they be a 90-minute team today that can sustain the quality we've seen in the first half, or will there be a dip at some point which St George can exploit? Bosniak. He's going to chase here. Couldn't quite knock it to his own advantage. St George come away with the ball. Casella, underlapping run was clever from Cunningham. Skitarich was making width over on the left. The ball doesn't find him. Here's Haddad. Caught in a 2-on-1. Souris. Oh, lost his feet at the key moment, but the ball still finds its way to Haddad. He flashes it out to the left. Skitarich, a low drive. And Hogg in the right position to clear it away. McStay. Quick 1-2 over on the right. Casella. Right. Concedes ground back to McStay. Haddad pops it over the top, down the right. McStay, can he run it down? He can, but not to his own or his team's advantage. And so Clark can clear out to the left. Nizam starting from deep in his defensive half. Dodgers one. And now Armanakis into the middle. Here's Bugaria. Bugaria trying to drive it through. He had Nizam and Callahan running after it, but couldn't beat the defense. Cito. Skitarich. Tough one for Cunningham to take possession of. Armanakis tries to burst away again. One-on-one against Cito, and he refuses to be beaten. Right in front of the travelling Olympic fans, though. They appreciate what the visiting team have brought to this one so far. Here's Bugaria. Bulgaria through the left. Away goes Nizam. He's got right guarding him closely, and right prevails with the ball, but then blazed it straight into Seth Clark. However, it took a kind deflection out for a throw in St George FC's way. Confirmation of full time at Ernie Smith. SD Raiders 3 have defeated St George FC 1. Big result in the lower mid-table. Bulgaria finds Callahan, and he flashes it across the face. Perhaps should have nestled that in the bottom right. What a good opportunity for Bailey Callahan. And it goes wide of the right-hand post. That could have been 2 for Olympic. Good play from Bulgaria with a short little pass to set his striker away. Skataric being grabbed by Hong, eventually goes to ground, and the referee does pay the free kick. I'm sure Sam Kelly was well aware of the shirt grabbing initially, but waited to see if Skataric could effectively take his own advantage. But he was just interfered with a bit too much. And it is yet another tight angle free kick around the edge of the penalty area. We've seen a couple over on the right-hand side of St George's attack. Now they have one from the left. Interestingly, free kick has been given where the foul started, perhaps, rather than where it finished, because if you were watching back on the stream, you would have seen Skataric go to ground almost at the paint of the penalty area. But you see now the ball is a good 10 metres further away for Chris McStay. Can he make this angle work? Here comes the free kick from Chris McStay. High to the back post. And a header clashes off the woodwork. Luckless St George in this first half. They've hit the crossbar, now they've hit the post. And Mark Rodic, in fact it was Pat O'Shea, smashed that header into the post. And that was very nearly 1-1. Great delivery from McStay. And O'Shea just leapt better than his markers. It's not like he was unmarked. He just read the ball better in the air. Akwian actually was up early and then already on his way back down as O'Shea was getting towards the top of his leap. Well, they've done everything but score in this half, St George FC. They've had a wealth of chances. And they will feel as though even 3.5 minutes plus stoppage will be enough before half-time to grab an equaliser, because they are getting closer and closer with every forward foray. McStay, Skataric plays it through the right, and the shot across the face. It's agony for the home side. Chance after chance. And they still can't find a way through, and this time it's Souris who is not able to nestle it inside the bottom left corner. And Olympic, they need half-time to arrive here because St George are making a move. All the mini-roos in their kits of their local clubs have come out of the tunnel onto the pitch, so some of them literally, I don't know, the senior game is still going. Not yet, kids. So there's about 40 new ball boys now lined up along the nearest touchline, anticipating the half-time whistle. McStay high up and under header. Haddad. McStay waited for the ball to bounce, invited in Bosniak, and now through comes Wright. Down the right channel, offside flag is up against Isaac Cunningham here. Well, every St George attacker has had a moment in this first half. They will be in disbelief that they're behind here. Just a moment of true brilliance from Panos Armenakis to score the only goal so far, but not to jinx the game. Surely it won't be the only goal, potentially in either direction, given the commitment to attacking both teams have shown. High ball. Callahan's flick header. Kukushka. He's got two opponents to entangle, and the numbers win out with a bit of help from a third man in Caden Wright. Bugaria with a bit of help. Clark. Bosniak back to Aquien. Jock Aquien. High ball cleared by Rodic. Armanakis knew that he had Khan Nizam on the wing. Nizam cuts inside, saved at the near post, and then cleared away by Rodic. And the whistle goes as St George break out of their defensive half. But another important save from Nick Soros. Hard to tell from our angle that we're on whether or not that was creeping inside the post or going wide of the target. Watching the replay back here from Nizam, I think, taken on face value that was on target and definitely honing in on the bottom left corner as Khan Nizam would have seen it. 1 additional minute of stoppage to end the first half. Sito winning the ball away. His team's throw in. Only seconds to play with though. Zoricic's header. Can Olympic launch one more attack? Clark. Aquien. Back into the middle. Clark had to hurry. Finds Zoricic. It's certainly sped up the attack. And now a sweeping cross, hoping for Khan Nizam at the back post. He's not facing the target though. He has to wheel away, and it's well defended down there by Caden Wright. He wins the ball back. The ball breaks into midfield. One last foray maybe for St George. Skataric's being held, and he goes for the back heel chop, and will he have the time to take the free kick? There's going to be a yellow card for Jock Aquien for the foul. I mean, from our angle here, you could see the shirt being stretched off his body, so not a surprise perhaps that Sam Kelly has reached for just the second yellow card of the game. And it looks as though there will be enough time to take this free kick. There's an argument here for Skataric just to shoot direct, because any dawdling might be met by the halftime whistle. Light rain has just started falling here at Barton Park with halftime upon us. Olympic are going to put 3 in the wall. They're showing respect for Nicholas Skataric's ability to shoot from distance. Can he find something special to end the first half on a high? Here's Skataric with the free kick. Good trajectory, and it needs a save. And there won't be time to take the resulting corner. Anthony Carreras makes a save to have the final save of the first half. And what a first half it's been. If you're only tuning into these two teams for the first time this season, you wouldn't know that it's 2 of the bottom 3 teams squaring off and the last place side in front. I guess that's the magic of a transfer window and the ability to overhaul your squad. It's a new look Olympic, and 45 minutes into what they hope will be the great escape. It is going to plan so far. Half-time at Barton Park, St George FC 0, Sydney Olympic 1. You'll see some stats, you'll see some highlights, and we'll be back with you in about 10 to 12 minutes for live descriptions of play.
Just lofted back to Sinnott. Sinnott had to be alert. And now Sinnott could be a loose touch. Shoiki might have pressured him, and now is a chance. And there's the goal for Danny Choi. Shoiki deserves a lot of credit for the pressure there. That's a great ball by Olsen to Choi. He's away here. Danny Choi tucks it away and double Sutherland's lead. What a ball from Nicholas Olsen. Choi definitely onside. Time to run perfect. Might have lost out here. And it's 3 forwards. Play through to Olsen, left side of the box. He has support in the middle. Rolls it across. Shots there. And it's 3-0. So it's going to be 3 goals and 3 points for Sutherland Sharks.
That's at George City. Harry McCarthy's at Rockdale Illingdon, and Ben Cooper's on the bench tonight. Well, that's a good ball. Neuenhoff opens the scoring. Gorgeous bit of interplay down the left. The attack alive. Can he find the cutting pass? O'Shea close in attention. Pires' header sneaks in at the near post, and they do have a second.
Van der Sarg, off a short run-up, is able to put it in the bottom left corner, and Rockdale have the opening goal. Really clever flick on from Elliott. Skatardis squares it, and now advancing is Speranza. A low shot parried into the path of Chalakian, and Rockdale have scored twice. Here comes the free kick from Chalakian, and a glancing header is a good one, and Van der Sarg has a double. The right flank, Constable whips it in, and if the flag stays down, that is 4. And amidst the appeals from the Olympic defenders, Moody Najjar has a
position. Curry with the left foot floats the ball in towards the penalty spot. Tef is there, can't quite get it. Pedersen shot, goal! A beautiful strike.
Rose looking for Nakano. Great touch from Nakano. Finds Krislovic. Leroy Jennings finds the bottom corner with what was probably his first touch of the game.
Savadinos playing games with Yamamura, who calmly slots it into the left of the goal to give the Wolves the lead. Jared Middleton, and now here is Marion France. Makes a bit of space, and it's a good ball in. Solsky gets a touch on it, but it's headed in. Scott, lovely pass. Mashivecchio's in, and that is a super finish. And the Wolves have re-established their lead. Touch. Blocked by Ken Izumi. Dax Kelly's clearance. It's still on here for Sydney. It's blocked. Tay Headley's there, and it is rammed into the goal. And a valuable 3 points it would be, with both looking towards the opportunity of finals football. And it is an absolute belter.
But they'll very much be hoping to get something out of this as they work a good angle here as it's pulled across the face and fired home. Blacktown draw first blood. Pass, it's Stewart again. Pulled back towards Ortiz, spins, shoots, scores! It's Presley Ortiz again. Helps it on towards Stewart. Swung in towards Contestavo! And Jordan now looks to go through the gears. Good delivery from Rory Jordan. It's Ortiz!
To match the pressure they've had. Meyer, another ball, back post, and it's going to be an own goal. Not how UNSW wanted to defend it, and Marconi won't mind how it's gone in.
What's wrong, mate? You're waiting on play, mate.
I just had an operation on my meniscus.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. How long?
After the season.
Huh?
After the rest of the season.
Oh, yeah. Big meat, mate.
Thanks, mate.
All right.
I'm getting older, man. Don't worry about me.
Oh, it's all right, man.
30, 40.
Quickly, Lucas.
Yeah, we brought players.
Quickly, boys. Come up. Come up quickly. Not too quickly.
Three sides. One on the bench.
Mate, you should come in. I tell you, good player, training, he does most of the talking, driving Una Evangeli. Yeah, no, mate.
Welcome back to Barton Park in the southern suburbs of Sydney. We're at half-time of this NPL Men's New South Wales contest at St George FC 0, trailing Sydney Olympic 1. As you can see, the rain has got heavier during the half-time break, so we're going to have a slick surface going here in the second half. Any fans that were here were more or less already in the grandstand. Three very brave individuals with vuvuzelas are still out in the elements at the right of the screen having their own fun. Kick-off then, and action resumes with the home side trailing 1-0 in need of a turnaround here. Otherwise, their gap in the safe position, the lowest safe position on the table, 14th in NPL New South Wales, will be cut to just 4 points by Sydney Olympic, who are at the foot of the table, and Blacktown City will have the chance to leapfrog them tomorrow, albeit they would need to at least get a draw away at Marconi. That would get them off the bottom of the ladder on goal difference if they were to draw tomorrow. Massive game out at Marconi Stadium. Right now, though, our attention remains here with the match at hand. First 40 seconds of the second half. Seth Clark in for a tackle. Knocks the ball out for a quickly taken throw-in. Skitaric hit the crossbar in the first half. Shot at the keeper in the first half and had a third chance, which he lashed into the side netting. McStay grabbed by Bugaria, and he'll do well to avoid a booking here. Referee reaches straight for the pocket, and Adam Bugaria becomes his team's second and the game's third player to receive a yellow card. Well, this is mistaken identity. Yep, I think Jock Acquien, right to say it wasn't me, ref, it was Adam Bugaria. And you know what, when you're a centre-back, I think you can dob in one of your attacking midfielders to eat the card. Never mind the fact it was the right player who does end up getting the yellow. So we got there, the right decision, and a long-range free kick here for St George. They did everything but score in the first half. They hit the crossbar through Skitaric. They hit the post through a header from Pat O'Shea. They had shots saved by Anthony Carreras, and they had shots go wide and high. And they would love to just pick up where they left off at the half-time break, because the last act of the first half was Carreras saving a shot out for a corner, which they didn't get to take because we'd already gone well beyond the allocated stoppage. Here's McStay with the free kick. It's high, it's looping. Oh, nearly an own goal. It was back towards the goal line from Bosniak, but cleared away out of the 6-yard box. And now Skitaric's shot is extracted out of the penalty area. He's going to receive the ball back immediately, though. Skitaric goes to work. Hits the byline, cutting it across. It's going to tumble through the penalty area. And McStay gets into the back of Sebastian Kukushka. No subs for either team at half-time. So, St George FC conceding the free kick here. Olympics goalkeeper Anthony Carreras to take the restart. Left back Samuel Bosniak. Centre backs are Josh Hong and Jock Acquien. And the right back is Zach Zorotic. Long ball here might go keeper to keeper. The defence had to intervene to keep it away from Kukushka. Cleared out for a throw. Midfield for Sydney Olympic is Seth Clark, keeping the game ticking over with Adam Bugaria. And here's Bailey Callahan, stuck in a 1-on-2. Was hoping for the whistle, it never arrived. Bugaria out to the left flank. Khan Nizam, that'll run long. So it's Clark and Bugaria and Panos Armenakis in midfield as a trio. Armenakis the goal scorer. And then the front three, Khan Nizam on the left, Sebastian Kukushka on the right. And up at the top of the attack is Bailey Callahan. He had a good chance to make it 2-0 late in the first half, and he fired it just wide. Olympics' best opportunity to double their lead. It's been a very open game. If you've only just joined us, you're joining a good one. Hopefully the weather and the increasingly heavy rain doesn't change that, because it's been really fun. A good high-standard contest so far. Here's Souris playing the ball out to the right for Caden Bright. So the St George lineup, Nick Souris in goal, Pat O'Shea at centre-back alongside the player on the ball now, Mark Rodic. Skataric out to the right flank. Here's Souris. Tries to drive a cross-field ball. It tumbles to Edmund Haddad. He sends it to Jordan Cito. And Cito, the cross is going to loop and stay in here. Jaden Casella concedes a bit of ground so he can find Caden Wright. And now Casella hurried into a first-time cross. Skataric trying to make it work. And Aquien, hard against the line, does enough to avoid conceding. Well, I was going to say a corner kick. And the Bronx cheers you here for a ball kid who is absolutely drenched already. He's got the spray jacket hoodie over his head, but he's doing it tough for the love of his club tonight as the ball kid. So the corner coming up. First sub of the game has gone through. Edmund Haddad has only played the first 5 minutes of the second half, and he takes his leave. Maybe motivated by it being a set piece here. On comes Rocco Smith. An extra tall target to aim for then, as one of the shortest players on the pitch is replaced by a towering alternative. Here comes the corner. Casella looping it in. Aquien rows solo and heads away. McStay whips the ball back in and sliding out for another corner. Well, perhaps a situational sub, perhaps inspired. Edmund Haddad off and Rocco Smith on. And two corners in quick succession. Can St George make the set-piece battery work? Smith immediately wrestling against Zach Zoricic, and the referee, Sam Kelly, comes in to give both a final warning. So, the corner kick. High to the back post. Aerial duel won by Bosniak, and then Armenakis whips out an overhead kick to clear it away. Shades of Roberto Carlos at the 1998 World Cup. Overhead kick in your own penalty area. And now the diagonal ball is going to work out for Callahan, and brave goalkeeping. That was really well done there from Nick Souris, and he's worn a foot to the face for his trouble, and the trainer is called immediately. But that was really brave goalkeeping to lead out and dive at the feet of Callahan, and he's been able to prevent the ball going in at some personal cost. It was Kukushka's pass, and there was one deep defender that played Callahan onside, and watching it on the replay, he's just gone in with the classic hurdling motion, and the shin maybe is what has hit the face of Nick Souris. And the last thing that St George would want to do is have to substitute their goalkeeper here, because Nick Souris is such a reliable number one, and Vedran Janjetovic, the super veteran, waits on the sideline. Looking over to the bench, it doesn't appear as though he's been sent to go and warm up just yet. going to be quite a delay here. We're going to have a lot of stoppage tacked on to this second half. We're only 8 minutes in. Janjetovic, 39 years of age. Of course, a lengthy A-League career and a couple of different stints in NPL New South Wales since leaving the A-League ranks, including retiring and unretiring. Well, he's taken off the spray jacket and the substitutes bib over on the sideline. So Vedran is being readied to come on here, and this is really bad news for St George FC. Nick Soros, after a blow to the face, he's still being treated lying on his back out on the ground. Hopefully it's not a injury extending beyond the face, like his neck or skull. Hopefully it is just the face which has been injured here. He's able to sit up under his own steam, and maybe the nose is being plugged. Additional trainers now starting to run out onto the ground, so it's not 100% clear if Soros is going to be subbed here or not. Vedran is reaching for his gloves. Whether that's to warm up or to get subbed on, we still wait and see. Both teams are going to cool down quite a bit in the rain here as well. Some players are just milling about. Mark Rodich bouncing up and down on the spot, trying to keep himself warm. So let's just recap today's earlier scores in the table. So earlier today, Sutherland a 3-1 win away at UNSW. Western Sydney scored last in a 3-all draw against Manly United, a game in which both teams led. SD Raiders closed out a 3-1 win against St George City, and only recently Northwest Sydney Spirit have defeated the Wollongong Wolves 2-0. So that leaves the table as follows. Apia top on 48. Playing tomorrow, as are Marconi in second on 46. Third place Sydney United lost 1-0 to Sydney FC on Friday night. They're in third on 44 points. Sutherland are up to fourth. 32 points though, so well back in third place at Sydney United. Fourth place, Rockdale. Fifth place, Rockdale, they play tomorrow. They're on 32 points with 3 goals difference worse than Sutherland. And the top 6 currently occupied by Sydney FC on 31 points. Even with a negative goal difference, they are in the top 6. And that's because with Wollongong's loss today, they're on 31 points and minus 2 goal difference. So they're outside the top 6 by 1 goals difference. 4 points back. Northwest Sydney Spirit may be breathing life back into their finals hopes today after the win against Wollongong. Western Sydney Wanderers with a draw today up to 26 points. So they're 5 points off 6th spot. As are SD Raiders. With their win today, they're up to 26 points as well. 11th place, Manly on 24. 12th place, St George City on 24. 13th, UNSW on 22. And then we get into the 3 teams around the relegation zone and the 2 playing tonight. Here comes the sub. Nicholas Soros leaves the game. It might be a broken nose. It might be a concussion test as well. Hopefully it is not too serious. He's going to receive another ovation here as he walks past the grandstand, though, for his bravery. And Vedran Janjetovic comes on. The veteran keeper is in, and it's a sub used as well here by St George FC. Lengthy delay, about 5 minutes. That'll be tacked on in stoppage time. And as Nick Soros walks past us down the tunnel, he's got a cloth over his nose, so perhaps just stopping the bleeding. But our thoughts are with him for a speedy recovery. We might see him in a mask next time he plays, a protective facial mask next time we see him. No doubt he won't want to miss too many games. But he will miss the rest of this one. Here go Olympic. Armanakis. The pitch is getting very heavy. The rain has arrived, and Janjetovic's first involvement, he's able to steer Nizam away from the ball and see it out for a goal kick. You're just seeing the water starting to pool already. It's not the heaviest rain, but it is persistent here at Barton Park. The surface looks a beautiful green, so hopefully the pitch doesn't waterlog too quickly here, because we had been enjoying a ripper contest, and it might become a bit more trench warfare here in the second half. Caden Wright with a long ball. Aquien. And a clearance. It's battered down by a ball kid in front of the tunnel. Wright takes the throw in. Callahan, a lone figure up top for Olympic, as Wright steers it back to Janjetovic. And another confidence-boosting touch for him. Solid header by Boschnau. Nizam, Bugaria, McStay, Skitaric, and Aquien has been equal to everything so far. Square ball finds its way over to Rocco Smith, the first sub that St George had made earlier in the half. Seth Clark able to hold off Cunningham, and the ball is cleared long. Kukushka not able to make a run after it, though, as the line wins. So we've crossed the hour mark. Seemingly no signs of activity on the Olympic bench. Many of them who were starters a week ago against Rockdale. St George's remaining outfield subs are all warming up. Get as warm as they can in these conditions. Aquien. His arm. McStay. Crunching challenge on Bugaria, and a yellow card for Chris McStay. Fourth yellow card of the game shown by the referee. Bugaria and McStay exchanging words, friendly enough, as they get on with the game. And Anthony Carreras has come out of his penalty area to take the resulting free kick. Long free kick to the edge of the penalty area. Rodic rises to the header. Clark. Armanakis. And it's going to land teasingly just out of the lunging reach of Callahan. It's a promising ball into the box, but maybe Callahan made a late go for it, but couldn't make ground. Callahan, Armanakis. The ball's going to hold up on the wet surface here. Janjetovic comes out. He's beaten to the ball by Kukushka. He strokes it back. Chaos in the penalty area. And cleared away by Caden Wright. Zoricic. And now Armanakis conjures another ball in. Bugaria leaves a header with Callahan. He collapses out of the way. And it was a last-ditch challenge from the St George defence that's able to clear their lines. Pat O'Shea got down to the ball. Cunningham legged, Now it's wet and wild out there at the moment. You see the water coming up off the surface every time there's a slide challenge, and the ball is just starting to hold up ever so slightly. So it is a different game now. It's a willing contest. Long ball from Akwiyen. Kukushka tried to take it in his stride. He gets the better of Rocco Smith. Here go Olympic. And the shot is saved straight at Janjetovic. Sebastian Kukushka with a good chance. And he put his shot straight at the goalkeeper. McStay can't pinpoint Skataric through the right. He has gone out of the game a bit here, Nicholas Skataric. He wants to sprint back and get involved, but the ball is leaving the vicinity. The ball holds up on the surface. Armanakis. Really nice pass. He sets Kukushka away. Kukushka into the middle. Callahan, he couldn't steer it goalwards. It hit the striker, but he couldn't hit it goal-bound. Armanakis retakes the ball. Now Zoricic. Here's Kukushka. Big minute from him. A couple of really promising involvements in the game. Can he escape from a 1-on-2 here, though? He can't. He collapses. And away come St George, albeit briefly. Cunningham, dispossessed by Clark. I feel like this is a big stand midway through the second half here. Boschnak. Callahan. Clark. Back to Akwiyen. Crossfield pass. Gives the ball away, and now it's coming back with interest potentially. And Akwiyen sprinting back along with Josh Hong to cover Skataric and make sure they don't pay for that turnover of possession. O'Shea stepping out from defence. Zoricic kept his feet. Armanakis. A low ball. Here's Callahan. Tried to sidestep inside the area against Rodic. And Rodic deflects the ball clear. Janjetovic winds up a long goal kick into the attacking half. It bounces. Cunningham. Skataric tried to play it to his own advantage. Clark holding his ground, as did Hong. Stroked back to O'Shea. Now a diagonal ball from McStay. The follow-up here, Caden Wright. Referee waves away appeals for a foul. Right! Well, the crowd was behind that strike, and it just bent away at the last second. It was honing in on the bottom left corner and then swerved late. And the frustration continues for St George FC. All of Olympic subs are now up and warming up down in the left-hand corner. So 67 minutes have ticked by, 2/3 of the night, or should I say 3/4 of the night, have expired. Look at it promising. Cito hits the line. And now he can wheel around onto his left foot and clear. Akwiyen. Nizam couldn't outpoint right. He sends it to the flank. Casella. Crossfield ball is quite the challenge to go and chase down for Isaac Cunningham, and he can't do so before the line. The rain has subsided. It's a much cooler night now. $13 in fact, here in the southern suburbs of Sydney, not too far away from the water of the bay and the airport. I wasn't too far from this venue last night. I was over at Rockdale for Sydney FC's match against Sydney United, and it was considerably warmer, even up high in the scaffold out there on the outer at Rockdale, than it is here at Barton Park tonight. It's a chilly one. Again, the ball just holding up ever so slightly on the surface, but St George able to advance the ball. Skitaric, O'Shea, Casella cuts inside. Jaden Casella, he's going to bend one, and it's saved away by Carreras. He's able to get his arms up and carry it out. It was a promising strike, but the goalkeeper had a good line of sight to it there. Jaden Casella bringing the crowd back to life here, and he wins the corner kick for his team. There's a double sub waiting in the wings here for St George FC. So last involvement in the game for a couple of their players. Can they make it count? Can they find an equaliser? So corner kick to be taken by Chris McStay. High, looping in swinger. Good header by Boschnak. Doesn't quite clear the defensive third though. Casella twists it back in. Aquien with a header again. And now through traffic. The equaliser comes for St George. And it's Mark Roddick who has lashed it in. It's 1-1 at Barton Park. And the defender Roddick with the equaliser. How important could that be in the context of the season? It's his first goal of the season. And it comes with 20 minutes of regulation to go. There was a double sub being readied. And it appears as though the equaliser hasn't necessarily changed those plans, but it hasn't taken place. The two subs remain waiting by the bench. But a massive equaliser here for St George FC. The home fans brought to life by the Casella strike just a moment before on the previous phase of play, and now they go and score from the resulting corner. And how important could that be? The gap opens up again from St George to Olympic to 7 points. And now it looks as though the double sub will still go through. Justin Poon comes on for Isaac Cunningham, and Harrison Farrow, who's had his share of late heroics back in the first third of the season when St George FC were up and flying. He has come on here, replacing Nicholas Skitaric, who has certainly faded out of the game, not for a lack of trying to score a goal, though. He had 3 big chances in the first half. Here's McStay. St George, can they use the subs here? Farrow caught behind against Zoricic. Clark. Armanakis. Can Olympic spring back to life? The value of 3 points today is that much higher against a direct relegation rival. Through the right channel they go. Kukushka able to lose his marker, and he can't tee up Pugaria. It's cleared from him. Long ball, Farrow. He can stretch the defence. And Aquien has to clear it into the perimeter fencing. He gets across and denies Farrow the ball, putting it out for a throw. McStay. And blocked clear by Hong. And cleared out for a throw once again. Farrow able to turn and face, but he's immediately confronted by Bulgaria, who wins the ball to the advantage of Clark. Clark's pass, though, can't find a teammate. Sito backtracking, and Vedran Janjetovic will come out of his line, calm things down. Plays it to O'Shea. O'Shea with a long ball. Farrow, body checked by Hong. It'll run keeper to keeper. So the bottom four, 13th place, UNSW, 22 points. Lowest safe team, St George, 20 points. Pro-Roll playoff occupied by Blacktown City, 18 points. And now 16th and last place, the relegation spot occupied by Sydney Olympic, 13 points. Nizam, O'Shea, and now McStay. From the base of midfield, Souris. Tough to control here for Justin Poon, the most recent of the subs, the double change. Couldn't quite keep the ball in. And neither can Caden Wright here. So Sydney Olympic take 10 metres. Draw definitely a better result for St George than it is for Olympic. They're the ones perhaps who need to load again and go for it here. They're the ones that need to close the gap. Farrow ran offside, didn't go chasing after Souris' pass. As a result, careful here at the edge of the box. Carreras very nearly took possession outside of the penalty area, but he just steered the ball inside the box before he laid his gloves on the ball. And in the blink of an eye, Olympic are trying to go end to end. Here's Callahan, down in the corner, being guarded by Rocco Smith. Plays it back to Kukushka. Sebastian Kukushka, and he goes for a speculative attempt, and he just lofted it out for a goal kick.
Chicken jockey, chicken jockey.
Goal kick from Janjetovic. Hong, now Clark. Bouncing ball, and Rocco Smith able to clear it away. As the ball bounces out for a throw-in. Bugaria.
Chicken.
Free kick given St George's way. Fans with the Vuvuzelas continue to amuse themselves. I reckon they may not even have been born at the time. In fact, I'm almost certain the kids behind the goals with the Vuvuzelas wouldn't have been born at the time of the 2010 World Cup 16 years ago, but they are certainly having fun with it tonight. Here's Farrow. Felled by Hong, no free kick. And the ball leaves the vicinity with Nizam out in front of Armanakis. Panos Armanakis with the first time ball. Callahan went to ground. Can he bounce back up? The ball's trapped underneath him. And the referee, as the ball hits the back of the net, but the referee saying that there's been an infringement by Callahan for crouching over the ball the way he did. He was hatching it underneath him, and the referee paid the infringement against him. Here's a chance for St George, quickly extinguished by Acquien, kept in by Kukushka. But it's going to be calmed down at the feet of Smith. Right. So substitution coming up here for Sydney Olympic. And it's going to be Peter Grozos coming on for Sebastian Kukushka. And again, he's one of the players, Kukushka, that's been prominent in an attacking sense in this game. It could have been so much more than 1-1, but not to be for him tonight. And Grozos, who was the cup hero a week and a half ago against Sydney United with 2 late goals. Sydney Olympic would love nothing more than for him to replicate something similar here in the last 12 minutes plus stoppage here at Barton Park. Souris with the through ball. Hong leaves it for Aquien to clear away. Ball bouncing towards right. Poon. Quick 1-2 at McStay, and then booted clear. Justin Poon trying to advance through the right, but the Olympic defence able to hold firm. McStay leaves the ball with rights. Right whips in across, and on one bounce it's held onto by Carreras. Long ball from Carreras, headed back by Smith. Controlled on the chest by Grozos. Big collision in midfield. Callahan comes off second best. Casella clearing towards McStay. It's a defensive header back into the middle here, taken by Farrow. He feeds it out to Justin Poon. Poon over the head of all and sundry in the penalty area, and over to right back as Sydney Olympic see it. Zoricic. Two shouts of get up from the Sydney Olympic fans, but the defensive line stays deep for now. Poon. Justin Poon tried to whip it past Bosniak. Bosniak blocked it away, down to the corner, and he continues to guard. And out the ball goes for a throw. Back to goal work from Farrow, trying to turns towards three defenders, and a blue ball is able to clear the ball. Clark whipped it clear, but now it's coming back through Smith. First time cross, loops into the box. Clark, a bit of confusion with Aquien, but Bosniak knew exactly where the ball had deflected to, and he runs in just to clear the lines. St George FC making their move here. If they can pull off a come from behind win, it will be priceless to them. And they certainly wouldn't condemn Olympic based on tonight's performance. They'll still have 9 more games after this one, but it would leave them with a monumental task to find a way out of the bottom 2. Hong. Sidestep was clever. And away goes Armanakis. And he's stuck in his tracks, and defenders are following him everywhere he goes, and a tangle of legs with Souris leads to a free kick and a yellow card. And Evangelos Souris goes in the book. And where the value of a winner for St George would be massive, Olympic in the other direction. They will be right back in the conversation to stay up if they can score a winner here and leave with all 3 points. Can they execute at the end of the night? Panos Armanakis stands solo over the set-piece opportunity. Vedran Janjetovic shouting to his defenders. Here comes the free kick. Armanakis whips it into the box, and the header is in! Bailey Callahan comes up with the all-important goal. And the chants of the away fans tell the story. Sydney Olympic have scored, and they lead 2-1. And after scoring in the first half, it's the assist for Panos Armanakis here in the second. A high looping set piece, and Bailey Callahan rose to head it. It looped past Vedran Janjetovic. And that goal, so vital. It's going to be red alert now for the home side. St George, they still have 6.5 minutes plus. We expect it'll be at least 5 minutes of stoppage, given the length of the delay when Nick Soros was injured earlier in the half. So they do have the best part of at least 12 or 13 minutes, if not more, to still do something about chasing the deficit here. But for now, it's Callahan, whose goal is the difference between the sides. And it's just his second in the league this season to go with 3 in the cup. He's up to 5 for the campaign. But he only had 1 league goal coming into tonight. Straight back on the front foot, St George. McStay hoping to find Justin Poon with a diagonal ball, and out steps Bosniak. Do Olympic go completely defensive here with so long to go? Are they tempted by the clock rather than the stoppage time tally? Or will they still look for a third? They are sitting deep. There's no doubt about that. Here's Rodic, his equaliser. Now a moot point. They need another one. St George. Right. Acquien. What a first showing he's made. The former Wanderers Academy player. Step around by McStay. McStay drives across field ball. Was Farrow interfered with. The goalkeeper's fumbled it. Soros blocked away. Heroic defending from Hong. Well, it was madness in the penalty area because it slipped out of the gloves of Anthony Carreras, and Josh Hogg makes the block to bail him out. What a chance for Soros. And some last-ditch defending. I think that's what we're going to be in for from here until the finish line. Here comes the corner kick. Casella in swinger, headed away. Crashing to ground to win the slide challenge. And now Olympic, they're breaking forward in numbers. Armanakis, can he find the right pass? It's on to the head at centre back. Clark following up. Here's Bugaria, and he loses possession. And coming through, Sito, vital on that phase of play. And you're going to see lots of risk-taking here in the last 4 minutes plus stoppage. We're going to see a substitution. Ziggy Gordon is coming on. The veteran Scott. Is it going to be like for like, or are they just going to pile on another defender here? Moment of truth. He's coming on for Khan Nizam. So a winger off for a defender. Sydney Olympic have seen enough. They're going to drop anchor and hold on to 2-1. And on comes Ziggy with a tactical instruction or two. I think he's going in to the right side of a centre-back 3 in what will now be a back 5. High ball bouncing on. Hong able to roundhouse the ball away. Gordon's first involvement is a glancing header on. Soros, that massive chance just a moment ago. Rodic. Out to Justin Poon. Can he find the right delivery here? A low, squirming ball. It finds its way into the box. Farrow saved next to the post. Harrison Farrow was able to turn and shoot, but it's been saved by Carreras, and he was sure-handed that time. Players break out. Carreras, he misses the goal scorer in Callahan as it bounces away from him. O'Shea. Rodic. And now McStay. He's been immense in this second half. Poon drives across. It's over the head of Rocco Smith. He's been thrown forward. The number 2. And that's going to, again, potentially leave gaps. I think there's an injury here for Grozos. It's not going to be a cramp. He's a second half sub, but he went down looking sore, and the referee did pay the free kick. Went into the last 2 minutes of regulation. And the fourth official tonight has a digital board, so everyone in the stands will see that number go up in just over a minute's time. There is a good, healthy contingent of travelling Olympic fans, but St George FC's home faithful has come out tonight. They knew the importance of this game. And they are urging on the home side here to find an equaliser. Carreras takes the free kick. Grozos contesting in the air. Armanakis, does he go to the corner? Out it goes for a throw-in. Olympic down the right end as far as they're concerned. St George have got to go end-to-end here. They're going to have to scramble to avoid conceding a corner. And as it rolls out for a throw, they are trapped down at left back. The home side. Can Olympic lock the ball down in their attacking end? Grozos, Clark, and now a loose ball to be retrieved by Cito. And he drives it and slices it out for a throw-in, so they can't escape their defensive half just yet here. The fourth official has shown 7 additional minutes, and that does align with some of the delays we've had in this second half. 7 more minutes of stoppage time. And a free kick going Olympics' way. And so the start of stoppage still continues to go in their favour. And they do keep the ball down the attacking end as far as they are concerned. And Ziggy Gordon is going to come forward. Almost if nothing else, just to drag Rocco Smith down into defence with him. And it means that Justin Poon is the only player up for the counter-attack. Well, there's a second one who's Harrison Farrow as well. So Olympic have left 5 back here. Here's the free kick. Callahan looking to replicate his earlier goal. It's going to be a corner. Oh, this is death by 1,000 cuts here for St George FC. They might have shown 7 minutes on the fourth official's board, but all of stoppage so far has been spent down at their defensive end. Armanakis taking plenty of time over the corner. Casella, Farrow and Poon all wait forward, hoping the defence can clear and launch. Here's the corner from Armanakis. There's the defensive header away. It beats Clark. Poon won't get to the ball before Bosniak. And he finds Armanakis. Ziggy Gordon. And now Seth Clark. And this time, the infringement goes against him. I think it might have been a handball for falling onto the ball. And so at last, St George FC have the ball in stoppage time. Can they use it, is the question. Cito. The Olympic defence waits in a line here. Smith heading it on. It'll slide out for a goal kick.
Hello, my name's Roman. What's yours?
There's a little squabble, but yeah, the referee's going to have to come in and play peacemaker here because Rocco Smith wants the ball and Sydney Olympic are trying to slow things down. Smith gets himself a yellow card, cost of doing business. And a bit over 2 of the 7 minutes of additional time have ticked by. And St George have played all of about 1 pass. It's been good clock management from Sydney Olympic so far, but they've still got about 5 minutes to negate. Carreras into his attacking half. Right, Gordon now Smith. Early ball from Casella. Farrow. He's able to free the feet, but he can't strike with any power. It was tumbling on, even on this sodden surface. It just had enough to bounce up, but he couldn't quite volley. And he really just glanced it down to Carreras more than anything. Rodic directing traffic for Poon, and he tried to thread the eye of the needle as the ball goes out for a throw. McStay takes it quickly. Poon, McStay. Back to Justin Poon. And now Rodic. Laterally he goes across to Cito with a burst of speed. And now taking a touch the wrong way is Casella. And he gives possession to Clark. And here goes Peter Grozos. And Olympic have the ball. Bugaria chasing after it. Rodic goes to ground. And he's able to spill possession back in his team's favour. Casella. Farrow lays it off here for Wright. And the through ball, Farrow. He's body checked by Hong. And the referee waves it away. And the home fans get rowdy. Farrow bounces back to his feet. He's disappointed there was no free kick. But Bugaria has escaped down the other end in the meantime. And Bugaria plays it back to Armanakis. Wright. And as it spills into midfield, there's Ziggy Gordon. Oh, he's caught in possession. O'Shea clips it long. And that'll be too long. Down to the keeper. And Carreras insists that Farrow comes and chases him all the way down. And that's going to go keeper to keeper all the way down to Janjetovic. Olympics' defensive line is still quite high. They're daring St George to play a long ball here on the slick surface. And McStay, he's going to go for the diagonal instead. It's headed away by Zoricic. Throw-in taken quickly. Cito. Armanakis defending from the front. Cito. The Olympic bench are all standing here, urging their team on. Justin Poon cuts it inside. McStay. A left-footed pass was clever. Right. Poon. Still Justin Poon. He jags right, and he flashes it through the penalty area. I think that was a shot rather than a cross. It caught a touch in there. So it's a throw-in for St George. High ball into the box and glancing off the head of Acquien. And Carreras collapses onto the ball and takes possession as we tick into the final minute of the allocated 7. How generous is the referee feeling? And the clearance just goes keeper to keeper once again. Rodic. Ball out to the right. Justin Poon. Big moment. A second to go. This time he looks for a teammate in the box. It sets up away from O'Shea. And McStay. It's a corner. The groans of the crowd as the shot went high and wide, but it did catch a deflection on the way through. And so it's a late corner. Vedran Janjetovic is walking, but he's not going to come up for it. This might be it at the end of the night. We've played the 7 minutes of stoppage. It's all on the discretion of the referee how much longer we go. Jaden Casella to take the corner kick. This is the intensity of relegation on the line. 9 games to go after this one, but tonight could be so important. Casella's corner. Headed away by Ziggy Gordon. Nodded on by Clark. Poon goes to ground. The whistle goes. There is life in Olympic. 8 changes to the starting 11, and they deliver 3 precious points. And Panos Armanakis, the biggest signing of them all, comes up with a goal and an assist. And Bailey Callahan, with just his 2nd goal of the season, is the match winner for Sydney Olympic. And the gap at the bottom of NPL Men's New South Wales has been slashed to just 4 points for Olympic from safety. It is a subdued Barton Park at full time. The home fans in a stunned silence, and the Olympic fans with the Olympic chant. And now they can look perhaps a bit more optimistically at the remaining 9 games of the season. Plenty of points to play for, but if they do find a way out of this, they will remember tonight. And so Olympic, their goals from Armanakis and Callahan, and the equaliser coming from Rodic in between. The full-time score is St George FC 1, Sydney Olympic 2. From me, Teo Pellizzeri, on behalf of our broadcast partner, Sportscast Australia, thanks for your company on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel. Good night.
Thank you, boys. Thank you, Vicky. Good, bye-bye. Good. Good night. Άρε φωτογράφε, Λεβέκη. Τι έγινε. Εδώ. Άντε πάλι. Θα έρθουνε τώρα, περίμενε. That was a good win. Good win. Bravo, Levecchio. Good one. Ade.
That was a 2-point game. We needed that. Hey, Paddy. Good go, buddy.
I got a goal and assist. Zane. Quite incredible.